Yo, so this is what happens when you do a live broadcast, right? This is a Markland Mondays live, and yeah, it's live. So, my bad. Had to step away for a hot second, but we're back. As I was saying before, though, tonight's conversation is going to be about representatives. As y'all know, in dating, people present the face that they want to present, and it's not necessarily an accurate one, okay? Um, but before we get into the conversation, before we get dig deep into the topic of representatives, as always, if you want to do a anonymous comment, just send me a DM. You can either send it to me in Facebook or you can send it to me in Instagram, whichever one is easier for you. And what I'll do is I'll repost your comment without your name. And I know you want to add to the conversation, so that's going to be your way of doing so. Um, Also, like I said before, if you want to join me directly and you and I speaking together, you want to add what your points, your opinions to the conversation, then just jump on Instagram at author Christopher Markland. And if you want to join it on Facebook, just add your conversation to the chat. So, before we get started, tonight, tonight's drink, tonight's drink tonight's drink is going to be it's a root beer float. All right, it's a mixture of rum chata and root beer. I use A&W root beer. Some people may like Barks, whatever your flavor is. However, y'all know I like different stuff. That one there is all right. Once again, I found that recipe on um, TikTok. If there's a special recipe or something, just a drink mix you want me to try, shoot it to me in the DMs. I'd love to get some new stuff. All right, let's dig into the conversation. Let's dig into the topic. So, we're talking about the representatives, and how this came up is once again just speaking to different people, and also it had a little bit to do with the whole Derek Jackson situation that's popping off right now. If you guys don't know what's going on, he's allegedly supposed to be involved in a cheating situation between him and his ex-wife, or him and his wife. I don't know the specifics, quite honestly. At the end of the day, to a certain extent, it matters because it's the hypocritical aspect of it, because he's known for preaching, hey, you stay with your woman, you do this, and y'all work it out, that kind of thing. He's also known to, some people accuse him of pandering to women by saying what they want to hear. Just a lot of things. But the reason how that kind of ties into what we're talking about tonight is this. He represents himself a certain way. Now, whether the things that are alleged against him are true or not, he represents himself as someone who gives advice to women and therefore is really and truly above reproach. So his representative is one of a strong man, a strong black man, a man devoted to his wife, a man devoted to his family, that kind of thing. When in reality, obviously what we're seeing is not necessarily indicative as to who he is. So his representative, based on the current situation that he's in, allegedly, ties in to how we present ourselves when it comes to dating. All right. Now, when you're dating somebody, right, it's who that person, the representative that they see is who we want them to see. It's not necessarily who the real person is. Like me, y'all, I've got a little bit of a temper. It's Aries season. Aries are always accused of having, well, I guess it's true. We are kind of hot-headed. We are temperamental, all of those things. Now, is that a good trait to have? Hell no. However, what happens a lot of times is you don't lead with the negative. So you try to put on the best person that you can and not necessarily be someone who you are, and you try to be someone that you're not. So what that means is the representative that person gets, you just start interacting with them, you start dating them, they're getting to know you, but they're not getting to know the real you. Now, in 2021 and just this modern dating era that we're in, what happens then is you're dating via apps. You're dating, whether it's Facebook dating or whether the dating aspect that's they just put into Facebook. Hey, if y'all have ever used that, let me know. I've got two people who said that they have tried it. I haven't really gotten any particular, feedback from it. So let me know, if you've used it, let me know if you've had good results, bad results, that kind of thing. And also if someone who's represented themselves to be someone that they completely are not. But anyway, in this modern day dating era, it allows for you to be someone that you're not. You can put on whatever suit, if you will. It's not necessarily catfishing. All right, because catfishing is when you present yourself, meaning your physical appearance. You know, you're not necessarily who you are. All right, and we're going to touch on that in the Instagram comment section. This is one I wish we could pull out, but in the Instagram comment section, Mr. Biggs actually just made a great point. When you do lead with the negative side, it's too much with being upfront, so it's kind of like a catch-22. We're going to touch on that. But, basically, going back to the dating apps, it's not necessarily about catfishing per se, but it is about it is necessarily about, the dating aspect of it. Sorry about that, y'all. You know how it is. You got to keep going on the fly. Excuse me one second. So basically, it's not catfishing. Sorry about that. Got a little off track. It's not catfishing. What it is actually though is because catfishing really truly kind of is who the person says they are. Meaning how they look, how they, is actually a man pretending to be a woman, or, it's an unpretty woman pretending to be a fashion supermodel or whatever. That's more along the akin to catfishing. The representative, on the other hand, is more about who that person is, their personality, their temperament, that is more what the representative is. And what people do then is they lead with the positive, just like Mr. Big said in Instagram. Yeah, they lead with the positive because if you do show your negative, then especially too soon, then you're definitely gonna have those issues, right? So that is a key part of the problem that we have when people show their representatives. Now, another issue that comes up is this: sooner or later, what you're going to have is the true person is going to come up, because just like any other lie, no matter what it may be, it takes so much effort, so much energy in order to maintain that lie. So what happens is you're going to get caught up, and you're going to get caught lying about your particular situation. Okay. You're presenting yourself to be someone that you're not. You're acting a way that's not, necessarily who you are as a person. So therefore, soon it's all gonna come crumbling in that house of cards, and then the real you is gonna step forward. The real you that you've been trying to repress for whatever reason. Because think about it: if you're not being yourself, if you're not being true to who you are, then why are you doing that? What are you trying to hold back? Is it because you know your faults? You know the things that you need to work on. And y'all know I'd say this on every damn Markland Monday show. No matter what the topic is, sooner or later, if it comes back to therapy. Because if you aren't comfortable with who you are, if you don't like who you are, if you are still triggered by the things in your past that make you, want to be someone that you're not. Because a lot of things that happens as well with representatives is you try to be the person that the situation dictates. Now, what I mean by that is this: if you know that, I'm going to just use it as an example. Shout out to my garbage men out there, no disrespect. But let's just say you know that you are a custodial engineer, right? You my man, you got your Class B CDL, you're driving a garbage truck. Great living, you're making your money. However, if you run across a woman, for instance, my dude's driving a garbage truck, he runs into a woman that, let's just say she's a damn doctor. He's going to pretend to be someone that he's not because he feels like she would be out of his level or out of his, basically he's on a 5 trying to pull in a 10 or a 9. You see what I'm saying? You're being someone that you're not. All right. So, It's the initial meeting that sets all this in person. Whether you're meeting that person on Facebook or Tinder, Match, whatever the case may be, or if you're meeting them in person, when you try to be someone that you're not, when you try to carry yourself in a way that is not who you are naturally, what you're doing is you're putting forward a representative, someone that is not the real you, and sooner or later, that's going to fall apart. So let's dig into the comments there, y'all. So Alicia in Facebook, she just said that it's just okay. Um, oh, yeah, that's right. She's talking about the Facebook dating. I'm not sure what's. I really want to dig into that. I've been saying I want to do a show on online dating, and we're gonna get into it. However, what Mr. Biggs in Instagram just said is when you lead with your negative, they say it's too much to begin with up front, so it's a catch-22. That's a great point. A lot of times, and I know especially for us men, we're accused of not being honest up front. We're accused of not saying I'm this, I'm that when it comes to the negative traits of our personality. However, when you start out with that, when you put it on the table and say, hey, these are my issues, these are the things that I have, then what happens is you basically are shooting yourself in the foot. Because what happens at that point is like, oh, well, he's this, he's that. I don't want to deal with that. So it's a lot of times you feel like you have to put certain aspects of your personality under wraps in order to make sure that you at least get a shot. I think that what's happened a lot when it comes to dating is, a lot of things happen where we aren't necessarily able to be our authentic. I think this root beer float's kicking in. Hold on. We are not able to be our true authentic selves. So therefore we have to put on false personas. We have to be certain things just in order to get a shot. I know that has happened to me a few times in the past. It's not necessarily representative. However, dating as a whole has gotten tough. And it's gotten a hell of a lot tougher for me now. Now I don't necessarily have to deal with that now. Y'all know my situation. Your boy's about to get hooked up in a couple more weeks. So I'm glad I'm not necessarily in dating as I was back then. Do I still have to deal with certain things? Hell yeah. Because as I've said before, even if you're with somebody, that doesn't mean that you stop dating that person. That's why, we were talking about holding doors open a couple weeks ago. We were talking about, women, there's certain things y'all got to keep doing too. I'm just saying, check with your dentist. You got to start doing certain things. I mean, if that's what he likes, then that's what he likes. I mean, and also, there's a lot of things that we have to do in order to maintain our relationships. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I got a couple other notes. I did have a lot of messages came in. Now, usually the facade of the representative, it'll only last but maybe all of 2 months. And this right here, y'all, also goes back to why I'm a firm believer in having those conversations, when you meet somebody. I'm not necessarily talking about, text messages or whatever. I remember I've said that before. That's just my personal philosophy on when it comes to dating and establishing something serious. Okay. It's not just necessarily about having conversations via FaceTime. All right. No, pick up the phone. And when you talk to that person, that's when you kind of hear the inflections. That's when you kind of hear that, okay, something's not right. It's a lot easier to pick up on the fact that somebody is lying but when you listen to them, as opposed to when, they have time to make that lie work. And if you, by that, what I mean is this: if they have time, okay, you send them a message. Hey, what's going on? How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. If they don't have to respond right then and there, they can stop, think about it, and respond back in such a way that it keeps the lie going. But if you're on the phone with somebody and you're talking and you're able to say, hey, so what's going on? Well, no. That's when you can kind of start putting holes in who that person's representative is, and the true person is going to come to the surface. Okay? There's only so much. You can only keep a lie going but so long. All right? Especially from if you're one adult who's, been living enough life to where bullshit when you hear it, it's only so long that they can keep that particular facade going. Okay? Now, something else when it comes to representatives as well. Is that a duck? What? I got an emoji from Smiling Pretty 24, and I don't know what the hell that is. Is that a duck or a swan? Hold on. I think I need glasses. Anyway, the main thing about a representative to me, though, y'all, and it really boils down to this, is that you or that person is trying to be someone that they're not, and there's a reason for that. And it really and truly all boils down to insecurity. Okay? Unless you're comfortable with who you are and where you are in life, and then also where you've come from and where you're going, what happens then is you try to be someone ultimately that you are not. Okay? You try to act like someone that you're not. We call it putting on airs or whatever the case may be, because you're not comfortable with who you are. You know that, okay, I should be at this particular point in life, or I should be here, or I should be there. And because you're not, you then try to pretend to be something that you're not. And the reason why that kind of ties back in, I mentioned this earlier, and we're going to try, we're going to link it together a little bit. Derek Jackson, right? I'm not sure if y'all know what's going on. I hate gossip shit, to be honest with you. But when it comes to dating, he is actually one of the quote unquote relationship gurus, meaning he gives a lot of advice. He gives a lot of, as far as women, this, y'all should be doing this, and women, don't settle for this kind of behavior from a man, et cetera, right? Now, a lot of dudes don't like Derek Jackson for a whole bunch of reasons, and the main one comes down to they say that he's pandering. They're saying that these women don't need to be listening to him my response to that is, you calling women stupid? That's really what it boils down to. It's like, okay, I think, yes, he has a platform. Yes, he has followers. Yes, he has a particular demographic of women that he appeals to. So if he says what they want to hear, if you will, then it's going to be one of two things. Either he's stupid, you're saying that women are too stupid to figure out exactly what it is that he's saying, but only you're smart enough to figure it out, like, oh, wow, I'm the smart guy. Or women actually are smart enough to figure it out, and they, especially black women, because that's really and truly who he speaks to. They're saying that someone has a voice and is advocating for them. So no matter what side of the table you fall on, when it comes to him, the bottom line is this. He speaks and said, hey, women, you all need to, men, we got to be faithful. Men, don't cheat on your woman. Men, if you do cheat on your woman, she has every right to walk away from him, et cetera, okay? However, in his real life, his real personal life, in his marriage, one of the things that he didn't do is live up to what the hell it is that he said. Meaning, okay, y'all fellas out there, y'all don't cheat. But as for me and mine, I'm going to be just handing out penis left and right, and I'm going to be doing my stuff on the side. Now, whether you agree or whatever you want to with his message on his platform, that is, and if everything that's alleged against him is true, then obviously who he's presenting himself to be, who is representing himself to be, obviously doesn't jive with the person that he really is. Now, personally, and I really don't want to get on here talking about another dude, but I do want to touch on this a little bit. Personally, if he is cheating on his lady, he's wrong, but guess what? That's between him and his lady. Now, as far as that, but that still does not absolve everyone else that he's speaking to when it comes to cheating. or just being unfaithful, or stepping outside of your marriage, or any of the things that happens when we're talking about this in particular. All right. Alicia in the comment and Instagram. And once again, y'all, if you're just joining me, if you want to go live, if you want to add something to this conversation and talk to me directly, jump on Instagram at author Christopher Markland. Just request to join the live and we can have this conversation. Let me know if maybe you have dealt with someone whose representative was completely different than, and I guess that's true. Representative is different, but you dealt with their representative for so long, and what happened after that representative just, left, basically. I need, let me know. And I'm trying to think of one time that happened with me, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But if you want to add a comment in the Facebook section, by all means, you can do that as well. But going back to Derek Jackson, one of the things that, and also, his representative, I get it, it's his platform. Is it who he is? Maybe, maybe not. But all we do know is that Derek Jackson is a swole up dude sitting in the car giving relationship advice. Whether you like him as a person, whether you think that he is hypocritical because what he got caught up in is true, the bottom line is what he's saying, there's truth to it. If you are caught cheating and your woman decides to leave you, as a man, you can't get mad at that. Just because Derek Jackson said it, I don't care if Steve Harvey said it. It doesn't matter. It's the truth. Now, if he's talking to different women, if he's saying, hey, so be it. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second, y'all. One thing about doing a live show, we are doing it. So in the Facebook comment section, let's see. Y'all, I don't know if I'm not getting old. I'm not claiming that. Y'all may see me in here with some readers sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I am struggling to see. But anyway, Kiki Kelly in the comments, in the Facebook comment section, what she said was this. She says, just don't put God in it. That's my problem with Christians and committing sins. Huh. All right. So that's what Kiki's saying. Don't put God in it. That's my problem with Christians and committing sins. I guess that's where the hypocritical aspect of it comes in. But I want to talk to you a quick second on that, Kiki. That's a great point because I kind of feel where you're coming from. A lot of times, a lot of Christians add God into their wrongdoing kind of to absolve themselves. And then it's like when they are caught, well, only God can judge me. There's a lot of that nonsense going on. Yeah, God may judge you, but I'm damn sure going to talk about you. Okay, I'm sorry. If you wrong, and shit, I'm going to call it out. However, I want to make sure I understand your comment because I that's actually a great point. But I do want to make sure I understand your comment. You're saying that as far as him cheating, don't put God in it. Is that what you're saying? Because I'm trying to make sure I understand that. So in other words, I'm trying to, I really want to make sure I understand that comment because I like that, because what happens, like I said, what happens a lot of times when it comes to, he did it multiple times and in the marital bed. Okay. Yeah. Allegedly. But once again, that's in his personal life, right? And I'm not saying that okay, well, because it's his personal life, how many pastors have done this? How many what's the guy's Billy Graham? Man, the list goes on and on. They be handing out penis left and right, laying hands on people, reaching out their rod and their staff, all that good stuff, right? covering them with blankets. I get it. And all people are cheaters. John Gray, that dude was handing out Lamborghini penis, if I recall correctly, right? So yeah, that's a lot of stuff. I get it. But is it all Christians are cheaters, or is it just all people are cheaters? That to me is the issue. You saw the interview with who? Y'all, Facebook is just stupid right now. Hold on. So, he did it multiple times in the marital bed. Okay, I get it. Wow. Pastors play. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, so I was forced to be a member of New Birth, but that's another story. Ooh. So, but here's the thing. Okay. Tasha K was talking to once again, and you know what though? Here's the thing, and this right here is why I keep using the word allegedly. Okay, Kiki Kelly, you see the comment that we see right there, right? She said that she was talking to the mistress. I get it, but remember, it's three sides to every story. It's three sides to every story. All right, you got his side, you got her side, and then you got the truth. So what happens a lot of times is this: you hear one side of the story, and that's why I keep saying allegedly, okay? Because if you recall correctly, we also heard one side of the story, and your boy Juicy Smouye was, walking around trying to get Subway at 3:00 in the morning in Chicago. So just because you hear one side of the story, right, you got receipts from one side of the story. One side. Because I can promise you that right now I could create a receipt, meaning I could create a text stream where me and Tony Braxton and who's another person? Ooh. Man, I just was bombarded with people's faces. Anyway, you can make that stuff up. I'm not saying that the dude is right. I'm not saying he's wrong, but we just heard from one side of the story. I get it. So, that, like I said, I get it, and allegedly so. I get it. All right. And T'Challa Ku here, he also says this: pastors prey on single women. That right there has been the issue that a lot of people have had with Derek Jackson, which is why he's kind of landed himself in the situation that he is right now. A lot of people are like, hey, this guy here, he the way he talks to women who are single. He talks to women who basically are lost causes. But kind of sort of let's go back to the actual topic where we are talking about, we're talking about the representative. Just because in this case, Derek Jackson, like, using him as an example. Yes, he presents himself as in a certain way. He presents himself as someone who is basically above reproach. Well, actually, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. In the videos that I've seen, he's never just said, hey, I am this perfect person and I don't cheat on my wife. What he does say is that women, if your man cheats on you, they need to be held accountable. Now, between him and his wife, if she's going to hold him accountable, then so be it. But does that change the fact that if you are cheating on someone, all right, if you are representing yourself to be someone who's faithful, if you're representing yourself to be someone who is actually but keep it up, who is, not necessarily, let me slow down. Let's back it up a little bit. Let's make sure. Okay. Yes, Kiki, I understand. I get it. I know that in today's society they focus on making you guilty in public opinion. That right there is what I'm talking about. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I'm using the word allegedly until we hear both sides of the story. Okay, a lot of things can happen, especially when it comes to men and men's reputations. All right, I get it. I know that we're living in a Me Too society, and that is a positive thing. You got people like Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Epstein. The list goes on and on of a bunch of men who have acted in a predatory manner towards women. I am on board with that. Okay. What I am saying is this: on the flip side of that, you also have people like Aziz Ansari and a couple others. Where Brian, what's the football player back in the day who got I can't remember his name. Anyway, if somebody in the comment section can remember the dude's name, Brian somebody, where he had a Deshaun Watson's going through it right now. The list goes on and on, right? So what I'm saying is this. We've heard one side of the story. We have heard one side of the story. And just like Kiki Kelly said, yes, right here, in the comment section where she's like, hey, they do have timestamps. They do have this. However, it's one side of the story. She came up and said, hey, look at this. Y'all know that Photoshop is a beast. You can pretty much do what you want to, essentially, right? So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that she's wrong. I'm not saying that he's right. I'm not saying that he's right and she's wrong. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is it's alleged because we have one side of the story. Okay. The representative, because right now what you have is yo, we kind of just jumped all, you know what? Screw the topic tonight. Let's talk about cheating. Let's talk about Derek Jackson when it comes to cheating. Let's talk about men, especially high profile men, when it comes to cheating with those high profile men. And, because here's the thing, those men have representatives, right? Whether it's Deshaun Watson, like my man T'Challa said, in the comment section, those men have reputations as well. Okay. So now what happens is that man's reputation is now being dragged through the mud. Deshaun Watson, where'd he go to school? Was it Clemson? I can't remember. Anyway, all of these dudes coming up, men are, especially men in high profile positions, such as a NFL quarterback. Deshaun Watson is one of one in the entire world. There is but one starting quarterback for whatever the hell team it is he plays for. Y'all know me and the NFL don't get along. But whatever team it is, there's but one person that is the starting quarterback. He is one of one on this entire planet, right? So what that means is this. If you have this position and all eyes are on you, all it takes is one person or two or three, and in his case it's 6 people, even though it's 6 people being all filed by the same lawyer who is the next door neighbor of the owner. I mean, it's a lot of BS when it comes to his situation. However, we still must make sure that we take hear both sides, but also we have to ensure that the women are protected. All right. Damn, they're claiming 22 women. Wait a minute. There are 22. God darn. Damn, Deshaun, you're making it hard for me to. Whew. Anyway. Shit. God darn. So it's one of those things where, the way you represent yourself. For instance, Bill Cosby. Remember him? America's Dad, Dr. Huxtable, et cetera, right? So what happens in his particular case is his private life is like, yo, what he does in public, Mr. Puddin' Pops himself, he was slanging out some Puddin' Pops because he was doing something, because Lord knows, it's an issue. All right. Let's see. Kiki said it's more guilty when you have a status and portray yourself to be better than your peers. Wait. Let me dig into that one a little bit. In Derek Jackson's situation, I don't think he portrayed himself to be better than anybody else. What he was doing was calling out the bad behavior of men when in the modern dating environment. And I think that that's why a lot of people are gleefully jumping all over him, because it's like, see, you were telling me not to cheat, but look at you cheating. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and just be handing out dick like Oprah, handing out, you get some, you get some, you get. That's not the case. And that's why a lot of people are saying, oh, look, he is this, but I cannot ever recall. And correct me if I'm wrong, y'all in the comment section, if you want to jump on Instagram at author Christopher Markland, we could talk about this. Hey, we definitely, I want to know. However, Derek Jackson, from everything I've seen, and y'all know I love black love. I love black love. That's the reason why I'm doing what I do. That's the reason why I write my books about black love. I love it. I don't think it's celebrated enough, and damn sure not in quote unquote popular culture. So I love black love. That's why I do this show every week. That's why I do so much, to talk about that. And just like, Alicia just said in the Facebook comment section, what's his name? Governor Cuomo. It's a lot of stuff that men are guilty of. However, just because you have a higher profile does not necessarily mean that you're guilty. And at the same time, just because you have that higher profile doesn't mean that you're not guilty in the case of Bill Cosby. All I'm saying is that the benefit of the doubt needs to be applied both ways. And that's why I keep using the word allegedly. I mean, because, wait a minute. Bill Cosby was actually found to be innocent. He was found guilty because he performed anal sex without consent. Shit. Anal. That just sounds painful. God. You need consent. You need a triage team. You need a doctor. You better have consent when it comes to anal sex, because God, the amount of friction. Ooh. Okay. Let's see what we got here. My outlook. Kiki Kelly says my outlook on them Jackson is Jackson is that he truth and was able to call out the behavior he was living. But Derek Jackson. Oh, autocorrect. My bad. He lived his truth and was able to call the behavior out he was living, and there were others he had. He had doctors present, and man got it. Good Lord. Allegedly. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. But once again, allegedly, I'm telling you, we have had way too many cases of men who have been dragged through the mud on situations that were not necessarily what they purported it to be. That's all I'm saying. Now, let's talk about cheating, though, with these high-profile men, all right? I hate y'all so much right now. Why the hell she call that man Dickum Down Jackson? I gotta take a sip on that one. Oh shit, she said Dickum Down Jackson. Okay. Oh shit. Oh, I hate y'all so much right now. Oh my God. I hate y'all so much. Anyway. Sorry, y'all. She said Dickum Down Jackson. Anyway. And that's another reason too. Alicia actually just great point from Alicia in the Facebook comment section, where she basically is saying, you know what? He's got a new book coming out, and it never fails that there's a lot of controversy whenever someone has a new project that's about to drop. Go back. Whenever someone has a new book, they have a new this, they have a new that, some kind of controversy hits them. Now, as someone who is in the quote unquote entertainment business, even though I'm definitely not on that level, I am a published author, and obviously you see the show right here, I'll be the first to tell you that controversy sells. Because think about it, right now, Shit, I'm using Derrick Jackson to move my platform forward. Why? Because his dumb ass decided to do what he allegedly did. So any kind of controversy does sell, whether you believe it or not. Whether he's right or wrong, it's all the same. It's controversy, and you know what? Shit. Just saying. That's a great point. In fact, Kiki, she said, "Dick him down, Jackson." I still can't get that. She's saying that his book is 50% off now. All right, let's get back on topic. Where were we? Because we just went all off the rails for a second there. Representatives. Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's where I love my people. I swear to God, I love y'all. Representatives. Derrick Jackson's representative. Deshaun Jackson's representative. Hell, what's his name? For the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger. His representative. You know, all of these shit. Let's go back to Mike Vick. Let's go back. I mean, there are a lot of men who their private lives does not in any way, shape, manner, or form live up to their public lives. And quiet as it's told, quiet as it's kept, a lot of women's are the same way as well. It's a lot of women. It's like, yo, she's doing what? What's the lady? What's that lady? Oh my God, it'll come to me. Anyway, what's the TV show? Good Girls or something like that? There's a lot of that going on. Okay, I mean, whether you're a quote unquote fan of Pittsburgh or not, I'm just saying, if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits. Tiger Woods. I'm just saying. The representative that we sometimes see is not necessarily the real deal. Okay. Tiger Woods is definitely one of those people. Hold on. So Michelle wants to join the live. Once again, y'all, if you want to go converse with me face to face and you want to join the conversation and talk to me, all you have to do is go to Instagram at author Christopher Markland, and you can join the conversation there. Looks like we have a slow connection. I can see her. Howdy, how are you? Hold on. So Michelle wants to I'm great, loving every second of it. What's going on? What you got for me? Okay.
And talk to me. All you have to do is go to Instagram at author, and you can join the conversation there. So we have a situation. I can see her.
Hi.
Howdy, how are you?
I am well, thank you.
Ma'am.
How are you?
I'm great, loving every second of it. What's going on?
Nothing much.
What you got? Okay.
You're talking about representatives and what's not.
Yeah.
First of all, watch your Pittsburgh mouth. Like just leave Pittsburgh out of this whole conversation. Steel Nation, go Steelers. That's all I got to say about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So as far as representatives and like cheaters go and what's not, people get fooled by their representatives, and people that lead with their representatives never learn. Case in point, a couple weeks ago, I was out with my soon-to-be husband, he who shall not be named, and in walked my ex, who I haven't seen in several years. You're right. And I've talked about this ex before in this show as far as being led astray. Well, I shouldn't say led astray because I have to take ownership of my role in my previous
salutations.
I knew from the very beginning that something was wrong, and I let it go. However, fast forward a couple years, I'm out and about, I'm with my new man, and this same ex comes up to me, and he's like, "Hello, I hardly saw you there. How do you do?"
Salutations.
Right. And it was like, okay, you the same dude that, drove to a Waffle House parking lot and slammed your car into another guy's car just for talking to me and pulled a gun on him. You're that same dude, but now we're talking, like we are starting.
Sooner or later, the real you is going to stand up. Sooner or later, that representative is going to sit down.
And my point to all this is, if you stay around somebody long enough, their representative, they're gonna come and go, but eventually you're gonna see who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
And folks that tend to lead with their representatives, they don't change.
Sooner or later, the real you is going to stand up. Sooner or later, that representative is going to sit down.
This is the same ex that told me, like years after we were through, and I've done moved on about a year and some change, that he had, gotten divorced, which, yeah, that was a whole nother thing. He had moved on with his life. He had a whole apartment somewhere else. Man, still married, still living with this lady that is his wife.
Yes.
Just the same drama, the same muck and mud. He did not change, and I don't say that to disparage him in any way. If he ever watches any of these, but I say that to say, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time.
Yes.
But okay.
Believe him the first time. This person is someone who showed me who he was literally a week in to our relationship, and it was something I let go. And here we are, umpteen years later. Hell.
Now I got a question though. I got a question.
Later,
What is it about him that made you bypass the representative? Because like we just said, you can only hold it but for so long, and without giving names, locations, whatever the case may. What was it about him specifically, or the situation? What was it that made you bypass the representative?
That is who that person is. And
Now I got a question though. I got a question. What is it about him that made you bypass the representative? Because like we just said, you can only hold it but for so long.
Got you.
And without giving names, locations, whatever the case. What was it about him specifically, or the situation? What was it that made you bypass the representative?
To your statement, bypass the representative. That's an accurate statement because I recognize that he was showing me a representative from day one. Like when it
Gotcha.
switched, I
Yeah.
noticed it. So it's not
Okay.
lost on folks. When people start to show you who they are, we pretend like we don't know what's going on. Well, yeah, we do. We
Right.
do.
Right.
We
Right.
see it, especially women. We have this thing, that the whole women's intuition. It's real, but you choose to bypass it for whatever reason, and reasons differ from person to person. My reason at that time was it was a convenient relationship. He lived up the block.
Yeah.
It really was convenient, and he was fun. He made me laugh. Like we had very fun, happy times. Like it was always fun when it was fun, and I
Right.
didn't want to let go of that,
Right.
even though it was more negative, more draining, more everything else when it wasn't. So I can't blame him for
Got you.
everything, and I
Okay.
won't, because I was fully aware that I was dealing with his representative. I'm fully aware of the exact moment that it switched, and I chose to carry on. So the thing with representatives, and you kind of touched on this on your last show as well, it's not just about the representative. It's about what action
Right.
are you going to take once you realize that this person isn't who you thought they were.
Gotcha.
If you are comfortable carrying this relationship on, then you have to look at yourself. You have to hold yourself accountable and say, I have been complicit in
I understand.
in this
Okay.
toxicity.
It looks like we're having some kind of
I am
technical.
not
Okay, it's back on Facebook. Everybody, y'all on Facebook. Okay, got you. You know what?
And you still move forward
Yeah.
with it.
Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate that. I know there's a couple things I want to touch on right there. Thank you for jumping on. Have a good one. All right. Bye. All right. Why is this thing not working? How do you? That's where me and we're having some serious issues tonight, aren't we? There we go. All right. Not sure what was going on. I see a couple comments saying that the audio's messed up. All right. Technology. All right. Michelle really brought up some pretty good points when it comes, when it comes to that. Um, Even though, especially for women's intuition, it is real. Now, one of the things that she said was like, "Hey, I knew that something wasn't right. However, we had good times together. We had, he made me laugh. All of the positive things that come from it. So you kind of overlook the fact that that their representative is not who that person really is. But remember, and going back to Mike, Larry in the to Larry in the Facebook chat, one of the things that he said was, "Hey, how long should a person keep the representative?" I'll be honest with you. I think the answer to that is they'll try to keep that representative up as long as they can, because it elicits positive, reactions from the person that they're with. Let's see. Vincent's comment is a little bit on the large side, but let me read it. A lot of times people create their own narrative concerning the lives of celebrities. Just because a person is in the public eye doesn't always mean they're promoting that they're walking the straight and narrow. So true. So when these people fall, a lot of us are like, "I knew it. I knew she wasn't shat." Yo, on a person, I love the word shat. It's just something about it. I'm sorry. Anyway, when these people never put it out there that they were better than the rest of us, man, you might have said something right there. The fake game worked on someone. That's why he keep using it. Oh, okay. He said that the audio's sexist. I know, right? Who rules the world, man? Anyway, I think that when going back to what I said earlier, when people put on their representative because they want to be someone that they know they are not, okay? No one on this walking this planet is perfect. We all have our flaws. I don't care whether you are aesthetically unpleasing or you just got a bad attitude. Just you name it, nobody's perfect. So what happens a lot of times is people put on their representatives, and just like T'Challa said here in the in Facebook, women choose to overlook the issues knowing that's not what they want. All right, so then can you truly blame the man or woman because it didn't work out? You just got tired of the representative. Man, you might have said a mouthful right there. It's not a matter of you didn't like the person, you just didn't like the representative. Man, that's, oh, boy. Man, you might have, shit. You might have said something on that one, sir. Because that right there is 100% truth. 100% truth. And that goes back to something. Have you, Michelle spoke about the fact that she overlooked that person's issues because she liked the representative. Personally, I've done that myself. I've been with someone who I knew wasn't, it's like going back to what we were talking about earlier. In the conversation, some of the things just weren't adding up. Some of the things just weren't making sense. Some of the things that she was saying, it just was not necessarily what I wanted. And therefore, I ended up being in a situation that, quite honestly, wasn't healthy, right? I've done that. I'm sure we all have. So it's a matter of being comfortable enough to know, like, you know what? This ain't what I want. I know that this is not the real person. I know that this is not, I know that they're just pretending to be something. And then also, sometimes what happens as well is they try, even though the real them comes out, okay, they try to go back to being the representative because they knew that the representative garnered positive results. So the representative was this quiet guy. The representative was this man that was attentive. This representative was the man that did this, did everything perfect. But the real them is an asshole who's selfish as shit, right? So that is part of the issue. So what that person tried to do was go back to being a representative. Y'all, we're going to wrap this show up, but I will tell you this. I definitely appreciate this conversation. I want all of you, if you're, regardless of what aspect of dating that you're in, whether you just met the person or, y'all are dating, y'all are getting to know each other, you've got to dig deep. You have got to dig past the surface. You have got to get to know the real person. Okay. It doesn't matter how you met them. It doesn't matter if you met them on Facebook. It doesn't matter if you met them on Match.com. Plenty of fish, depending on your persuasion, Grinder, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter how you met that person. You better get to know the real person and get past that representative real quick. You got to ask those tough questions. You got to get to, dig past the fuzzy, happy feelings and be like, yo, let me know who you are. Ask the questions, because we as adults, the questions to get the right answers. Okay. Yeah, T'Challa, we wrapping this one up, y'all. We try to keep it going for about an hour-ish, but we do this each and every week. Every week we have different Markland Mondays conversations, different topics. Based on what I'm seeing right here, next week, y'all, we're going to be talking about cheating. We're going to talk about cheating. I've got way too many examples than I care to name. Your boy, let me not get into it. Hey, he said my Remy was just, yo, this root beer float. Yeah. Whew. Put the mix back up. The root beer float is what I have for tonight. But as always, this is going to be streamed. It's going to be put up on YouTube later on. In fact, just a PSA. We are going to be I'm going to be switching the platform from Facebook on over to YouTube. So not only is it going to be here on these different ones, but we're also going to be up on YouTube as well. And we're going to actually be doing it live streaming on YouTube, as opposed to what I've been doing, which is uploading it. So I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all jumping into the conversation. Thank y'all so much. Next week, we are going to be talking about cheating. And once again, y'all, stay determined. Y'all have a great week. Thank you for joining the conversation. Have a good one, y'all.